Hello, welcome to week 3 of National Serger Month here at Kingdom Sewing. I'm Gina, and today I'm going to introduce you to the Baby Lock Euphoria. It's a great cover stitch machine. Now let me let you know ahead of time that all of the demonstration that I'm going to do on the Euphoria, as far as the types of stitches you can do and the attachments that'll work on the machine, will also work on the Baby Lock 8-thread sergers. So that would be the Triumph and the Accolade. So Tim, why don't you show them what the Triumph looks like? We talked a little bit about the Triumph on week 1. This is an 8-thread serger. You'll notice it has the 5 inches of space to the right of the needle, so nice big opening. It has the revolutionary threading in the needles, so air threading needles. Super simple to get those needles threaded. It's got a speed control, a knee lift, really a nice, awesome machine. The other machine that we have that's an 8-thread machine is the Baby Lock Accolade. So I'll move out of the way so you can see that. This is a little bit smaller version of the 8-thread machine, so if you don't really have the space for the Triumph, this is a great option. Again, it has the 8 threads, also has the cover and chain functions like the Triumph and the Euphoria. So another great option, a little less expensive than the Triumph, but these machines will all do these stitches that I'm going to show you today. So let's get to it. So we'll focus here on the Euphoria. It does have, I'm going to open up these doors here, Tim, I don't know how close in you are. It does have the air threading for the 1 looper. You can see here, we've got our air threading. So simple to get that threaded. We just lock this into position and push the button and away we go. It does also have the full featured differential feed that the Baby Lock sergers are known for, so great for working on knit fabrics. You'll notice that right now I'm set up with 3 needles here. So this is the maximum that we can do. So we've got actually 4 threads, 3 needles with a chain looper. This machine, one of the really neat things, Tim, if you can zoom in at the presser foot there, when we lift up the presser foot, the feed dogs drop down. So if you're able to see that, that way they're not going to be snagging your fabric as you're loading it into the machine or bringing it back out. Those feed dogs will be out of your way, so no snagging there. So we have an onboard accessory compartment over here to the right. So all of our tools are stored here, very handy. We also have the little magnet tray here for any needles that you happen to remove out of the machine. Those can be safely stored there right on your thread stand. You can see our spool stand here to keep all of our threads aligned and tangle free as they go into the machine. We've got tension control for our looper here and then our tension control for our needles on the other side. I'm sorry, in the front. We have our pressure, foot pressure on the other side. So that's really nice to be able to adjust the foot pressure depending on the thickness of the fabrics that you're sewing. You'll notice I also have a couple of little screws attached into my plate here. We're going to be demonstrating some attachments here shortly. So let's get going. I'm just going to quickly do this 3-thread stitch so that you can see what this looks like. I should say 3-needle stitch. We have the ability to control the stitch length. Looks like my chain got a little tangled in the back there. Let's do that again. There we go. We can adjust our stitch length as well as that differential feed. You'll notice as I stitch back, the machine keeps chaining. So we'll cut that up on our thread cutter there. So here you can see we've got the 3 straight stitches from the needles, and on the reverse side we've got that chain looper. So this is a very stretchy stitch, or you can adjust the tensions a little tighter for your non-woven fabrics like this cotton here that I'm sewing on if you like. But a very stretchy stitch. Generally you would be using all 3 needles if you were doing something that needed a little more support, a little more stability, like possibly some bike shorts or a leotard or something to that effect. This also, you may notice, would be great for top stitching on jeans or a denim jacket, something like that. So really nice even stitches. So if you were trying to do top stitching on your regular machine, with just a single needle, as you stitched each one of those rows of stitching, they're not going to line up. Here you'll notice that all 3 stitches are perfectly aligned across there. So really beautiful stitch. So I would like to show you what happens when we remove some of our needles here. So I am going to start by taking out the center needle. And we'll remove that thread. And then I'm going to remove the needle. We don't have to worry about forgetting to retighten that screw. And as I say that, I will retighten it. Because there's a plate on the front here of the machine that keeps the screw in the machine, so we don't have to worry about losing that screw as we take out our needle. Put that up on my little magnetic tray here to the side. So now we are set up for a 2-thread cover stitch, and this is a wide cover stitch. So again, let me stitch down on my sample fabric here and show you what that looks like. So it's going to be the same width as the first stitch that we did, but now we won't have that center needle. All right, so we take a look there at that. You can see it's the same width. We're missing the center needle. So this is kind of more like what you may be familiar with if you're looking at your t-shirts or sweatshirts or things that you've purchased in the stores. You'll see something that looks a little more like that. And again, we have our looper stitching on the back, which again is the same width, just looks a little less intense because we've gotten rid of that one needle. So this again is a great stitch for hemming. So let me show you a couple of our attachments, and we'll start with the hemmer attachment. This one is called a downturn feller. I know it's a really odd name, but again, this is going to roll our fabric down for us. And let me get lined up here where I need to be. It folds down the fabric for us and gives us a nice, accurate hem as we're stitching. So now this is going to be a little awkward as I'm sitting off to the side, so bear with me just a moment while I get my fabric fed into the machine here. Let's turn this around the right way. So I'm going to load in this denim. And sorry that my hands are in the way, so it'll take me just a minute while I slide this in. There we go. And position right up to the needle there. So I'm going to start this by giving it a little bit of a turn under. It's a little awkward when I'm not sitting directly in front of the machine. Alrighty, we'll move it right up to the needles there so we're ready to go. And away we go. So again, there we have our nice straight stitching on the right side of our fabric, and we've got our chain looper on the back side. So ideally, my stitch would look like this, where the raw edge of your fabric is enclosed inside the stitch. Again, because I'm not sitting directly in front of the machine, it's a little awkward working off to the side. But on your knit fabrics, oftentimes you'll want to actually have it stitch over a little bit more like this so that you don't get tunneling. All right, but you can set this up. This is a 1-inch hemmer, and it will turn your fabrics under for you. There are also a couple of fabric guides that you can use for hemming if you like to pre-press your hems, and those fabric guides come up on the side here and give you a position for you to butt your fabric up against once you've already turned under your hem. So let me show you next a couple of attachments that are called belt loop binders. So this again is going to feed the fabric for us into the foot, and what this one does is it rolls the fabric, it does a triple fold, and this is what you'll see. Now this is a little wider than what you'll see, but this is what you will see if you look at the belt loops on your jeans. This is how they're stitched. So you have the straight stitching on the right side and the chain looper underneath. So I'm going to feed my fabric in here, and the attachment here is going to sort of start that fold for me. Let me lift up my foot so I can slide it underneath, and we're going to encourage it right up underneath the foot. Now this is great. This is a wider one. This is an 1.5 inch belt loop binder, which is great for making straps for bags, totes, even seat covers or things, wherever you're going to need a strap. This is really handy for that. So here you'll see on the top, we have again that nice wide cover stitch, those 2 parallel rows of stitching. On the back side, you can see it's folded in our raw edges. They're enclosed inside the stitching, so everything's neat and tidy. Now, you can also, with this, if you've got a narrow belting or strapping or interfacing or elastic, anything like that, you can feed in to the attachment as you're stitching. So if you wanted reinforcement or to make your strap a little bit stretchy, all of those kinds of things can be added in as well. So nice strap there. What I will do quickly here is I'm going to show you also, there's a smaller one that is actually more like what you would see on your jeans or your pants. And with this smaller one, I'm going to need to move the needle over, so we'll quickly do that as well. And I can show you actually before I do that, let's move the needle so I can show you the narrow stitch. Now you can use either needle, the center and the left or the center and the right. I'm going to take the right needle and move it over. Into the center position here. We have these nice little windows at the top of the needle clamp here. Tim, are you able to get in that close? We have some little windows up here where we can see the top of the needle come up into the block here, so that we know that we've got the needles in the correct position, because there's a place to view that there. That's really handy. Alrighty, so let me go back to my original piece here, and we'll stitch down and take a look at the narrow cover stitch. And this is generally what you'll see on your lighter weight t-shirts, knits, sleeve hems rather than the bottom hem. So you can see if we compare, we have the wide cover hem here, or cover stitch, and the narrow here. So on your more lighter weight fabrics, this is going to probably be a better fit, because sometimes the wide stitch can cause that fabric to sort of pucker up in the middle of the stitch. And so we'll take a look at the back. You'll see again we have our chain looper there. It just makes a narrower stitch. Now there's a lot of fun techniques that you can do with these machines by putting decorative threads into the looper here, and creating just some decorative techniques with a heavier or variegated threads that you can put on the back side as well. So let me quickly put on my narrow belt loop binder here, just so you can see that this is going to look a little bit more like actual belt loops rather than straps. And again, these are great for purses and bags as well as belt loops on your garments. So again, we're going to encourage our fabric in. Now the instructions that come with these attachments will tell you the width that you can cut your fabric so that it works perfectly in here. Lift up my foot so I can encourage my little belt loop to go underneath my foot there. And I think that's far enough. We should be good to go there. So let's see. Oh, not quite. We got to get it up a little further so that the feed dogs will catch. There we go. Alrighty, so you can see that's a little narrower, more like our belt loops on our pants with our chain stitch down the middle. So very nice narrow belt loop there. Just wanted to show you one other sample I have here as well. This is made with the wider one. And you can see this creates a nice stretchy strap. So using that wider belt loop. And again, the wide one is 1.5 inches. This narrow one is 3/4. So some fun attachments that you can use on for your cover stitching. Oh, excuse me, bumped into our set here. All right, well I thought I had the boxes so that I could show you, but we'll lay these out up here again.
A little further underneath.
Oh, there we go, okay. There we are. So you can be able to see we've got the belt loop binders.
Can you do it on the machine?
Okay.
One at a time, yeah.
So our 3/4 inch belt loop binder, our 1.5 inch belt loop binder. Too much glare?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. And then our downturn feller. And these come in, and I believe this one comes in 2 different sizes as well. So that's how much it's going to turn under. This is the 1 inch, so that'll turn under a nice 1 inch hem for you. So all kinds of fun options with these attachments. If you'd like to come in and see how it all works, we'd love to show you. So stop in and take a little test drive. A couple of other things I want to talk to you quickly about. Just some reminders. We have our 2-day Serger workshop coming up at the end of the month. And I do have a couple of seats left in this workshop. So this is a workshop where we allow you to sew on one of the Baby Lock sergers. We're going to be using the Victory, which is a 4-thread serger. So this gives you a chance to take 2 days worth of lessons on one of our machines. You'll learn all about how the machine works. You'll get to stitch all kinds of samples with different stitches and different fabrics, and you'll actually get to make 3 projects at the end of the 2nd day. So we have a lot of fun in this class. Again, I have a couple of seats open still, so you'll want to take advantage of that. You can sign up for that on our website, which we have here, our little reminder for you. Any of our classes and events you're able to sign up for online at kingdomsewing.com, or you can give us a call, of course. So that's week 3 for you here for National Serger Month. Be sure to check out our shop, our online shop. I've added in these accessories that we talked about today on our online shop. So if you'd like to get your own, you can do that there as well at kingdomsewing.com, and you'll see the shop option in our menu there across the screen. So again, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again next week for the last of our National Serger Month celebrations. See you then, Thursday at 10:30.